Right now at noon, police say a man believed the person who killed someone in Sauk County is now in the Madison area. Plus, the reward being offered in the search for Jamie Kloss is being reviewed, with many close to the case saying the teen should be given the money. And a suicide bombing in Syria leaves several U.S. service members dead. What we know about this attack.
This is News 3 at noon.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mark Kane. Thanks for tuning in to News 3 on this Wednesday afternoon. Meteorologist Dave Caulfield is here with a look at your first alert forecast. It's nice to see some sun today.
Oh, it really is. Even with temperatures a little bit chillier than yesterday, I don't think it matters
Makes a big difference.
Much. Yeah, it really just brightens your day, literally and figuratively. In Madison on the WISC-TV Skycam, we're looking at mostly sunny skies right now, currently at 27 degrees, northeast wind at 6 miles per hour, but that making it feel a little bit more like 20 degrees. So temperatures are in the mid to upper 20s, even some low 30s south of Madison at the noon hour. So not too bad overall. And again, those winds are relaxing a little bit, still out of the north at about 5 miles per hour. So wind chills are in the low to mid 20s, but it's typically what you would expect for this time of year. And those temperatures staying pretty steady in the mid-20s throughout the rest of the day. But the clouds do come back tomorrow. Some flurries are possible on Thursday, and we could be talking about some accumulating snow on Friday and Saturday. We'll have details on that in your first alert forecast in just a few minutes.
Timing and the amounts, don't know yet,
yes,
specifically.
A little bit up in the air, but I'll try my best to rein it in.
We'll count on you.
All right.
Thank you, Dave. Topping the news today, the man wanted in connection to a Sauk County homicide could be in Madison. The reports that 68-year-old Robert Pulvermacher was seen in Madison yesterday. And a warrant was issued for his arrest after a missing person was found dead Monday night outside a casino. Police are also looking for another younger unidentified man who left the casino with Pulvermacher. The Sauk County Sheriff is not naming the victim in the case, but says an 80-year-old Lake Delton man was reported missing Monday morning. Hours later, authorities found him dead in his car behind the Ho-Chunk Casino on County Road BD. Investigators are asking anyone with information to come forward. Deliberations continue today in a homicide case out of Dane County. The jury has not issued a verdict yet for 60-year-old Daniel Leeske. He's accused of shooting and killing Jesse Faber of Sun Prairie a year ago. Yesterday, he and his girlfriend have both pleaded guilty to hiding Faber's body in a storage unit, but Leeske insists he didn't intentionally kill him. The judge sent members of the jury home at 9 o'clock last night. When they couldn't come to a decision, Leeske faces life if convicted and 12 years for hiding the body. A prayer service is planned for this weekend as the Barron community looks to help Jamie Kloss heal. Details of the service still being finalized. Meanwhile, the FBI is also trying to decide what to do with a $50,000 reward they promised for information about Jamie. $25,000 of that coming from their office and $25,000 from the Jenny O plant where Kloss's parents worked. Jamie was found alive last week after she was able to escape a home where she was being held against her will for nearly 3 months. The people who helped her in the minutes after she ran away say they don't want the money. Jamie approached Jeannie Nutter last Thursday afternoon while Nutter was walking her dog, and she rushed Jamie to the house of Peter and Kirsten Kaczynska, who then called 911. Peter says if anyone deserves the money, it's Jamie because she got herself out of that situation. Meanwhile, the suspected kidnapper of Jamie, Jake Patterson, was moved to a different jail earlier this week. ISIS is claiming responsibility for a suicide bombing in Syria that killed several American soldiers. The attacker targeted U.S. troops who were on a routine patrol in the northern part of the country. The attack comes days after the U.S. began withdrawing from Syria, pulling equipment into neighboring Iraq. Last month, President Trump announced America's 2,000 troops were coming home from Syria because ISIS was defeated. Well, a witness to the attack says the suicide bomber targeted a restaurant where U.S. troops were meeting members of a local militia that America supports. Congressional leaders say they'll cancel the upcoming Martin Luther King Jr. recess and stay in session unless a deal on border security is reached. Democrats nor the president are backing down. Nicole Killian reports from Washington.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi sent President Trump a letter asking him to postpone the State of the Union address until the government is reopened. Citing a strain on security, Pelosi said both the U.S. Secret Service and the Department of Homeland Security have not been funded for 26 days now, with critical departments hamstrung by furloughs.
This requires hundreds of people working on the logistics and the security of it. Most of those people are either furloughed or victims of the shutdown.
President Trump is blaming the Democrats for the shutdown, tweeting, "They are a party of open borders and crime. They want nothing to do with the major humanitarian crisis on our southern border." The president is meeting with the Problem Solver Caucus, a bipartisan group at the White House today. Border security is high on the agenda. A new analysis from the Council of Economic Advisors shows the standoff over border wall funding is impacting the economy at twice the rate the Trump administration expected.
There has been some impact, but at the same time, again, we're focused on the long-term economic principles that the president's laid out.
Thousands of federal workers still aren't getting paid, and if a deal isn't reached soon, those furloughed workers could miss a second paycheck.
The American people have reached a point long ago when they were fed up with this government shutdown. They understand that good, hardworking people doing important jobs for America are showing up for work without a paycheck.
The Trump administration is recalling some 50,000 federal employees to work without pay, including food inspectors and IRS staff. Nicole Killian, CBS News, the White House.
Meanwhile, a celebrity chef, Jose Anders, is giving free lunch to federal workers not getting paid because of the government shutdown. He plans to hand out free sandwiches at his restaurant in D.C. today. In the past, Anders has helped feed survivors of natural disasters like Hurricane Maria and the California fires. Shopko is filing for bankruptcy. At the end of last year, Shopko officials announced they were closing 39 stores in 19 states. Last week, 6 more stores were added to the list. Officials say bankruptcy will provide a path forward and will rebuild the store into a profitable business once again. And there's a 4-year-old Janesville boy getting some serious support from new high school friends as he continues his cancer battle. Those students at Janesville Craig held a pep rally yesterday for Isaac Johnson. Isaac has spent the last 2 years battling neuroblastoma. The high school student council headed up an effort to raise money for Isaac's family any way they could. After fundraising all of December, that is, they handed over a nearly $10,000 check to the Johnson family.
I guess that's what keeps you going. You know, there's lots of lows in this and there's highs. And when you have those low days, those are things like this is what you think about.
Isaac says this whole ordeal made him feel like a celebrity, in which he is. There's more to come on News 3 at noon. I'm next with what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
It's orange season, and that means there's lots of juicy goodness waiting for us. So grab a napkin, because you're gonna need it. I promise. Right now, Florida is in the height of orange season, and the groves are full of juicy as can be fruit ready to be shipped to our markets. And since I'm a big orange lover, no matter where they come from, I thought it'd be the perfect time to make a light as can be dessert that'll help us get out of the winter blues. We begin by beating together cream cheese and Greek yogurt until creamy. To that, we add in some heavy cream and powdered sugar and whip it until it's fluffy. We beat in some orange juice along with fresh orange zest and a bit of unflavored gelatin that we dissolved in water. After this comes together, we pour it into an 8-inch square pan lined with a homemade graham cracker crust and pop it in the fridge. While it's chilling, we dip orange segments that we patted dry with paper towel in some melted chocolate. When we cut this creamy, dreamy orange favorite into squares and top each piece with a chocolate-dipped orange, get ready to say goodbye to the winter blues. So head over to our website and type in chocolate-kissed orange squares. It's that easy. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a fresh from the Grove way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Looks good. Thank you, Howard. Winter is set to make a return to southern Wisconsin this weekend. Dave Caulfield is going over what we can expect. That's coming up next. First Alert Forecast. Our Call for Action phone bank is open right now, ready to take on your consumer issues. You can call our hotline. Volunteers will help you with any consumer complaints. The number is 608-270-2833. The service is open every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday between 11 and 1. And more people are working when they're sick, and we know why. And when it comes to emergencies, many people are unable to handle it financially. Here's Diane King Hall with today's Money Watch report.
Bank of America turns in a blowout quarter. The bank says profit tripled to $7.3 billion. That is a record. Earnings were fueled by strong growth in its consumer banking business as more Americans took out loans and ramped up credit and debit card spending. In a borrowing rush, more people filled out loan applications to buy a home last week. According to the Mortgage Bankers Association, mortgage application activity jumped 13.5%. Most Americans cannot afford a $1,000 emergency. A new Bankrate survey found that 6 in 10 people don't have the necessary cushion to handle an unexpected expense. Savings rates have been on the decline since the 1970s. A range of factors is being blamed, including weak wage growth and the rising cost of housing, education, and health care. It's cold and flu season, but instead of taking sick days, more people are working in person or remotely. New LinkedIn research shows workers took an average of just 2.5 sick days in 2018, but a study from Queen's University found that coming to work when you're sick decreases overall productivity. Workplace experts say working from home is becoming more common, but advise employees to take off to prevent prolonging illness. And that's your CBS Money Watch report. For more, head to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Diane King Hall.
And thank you. The Dow Industrial is up 153 points at the noon hour. The NASDAQ up 21. Q106 Farm Director Pam Yankee is out of the radio barn today, so here are your farm numbers. And Pam returns tomorrow. Dave Caulfield is here today. A nice sunny day, but maybe a big change in the weather.
Yeah, some changes are on the way, Mark, but we can deal with the sunshine for a little bit. Let's focus on the positives. If you're not a fan of winter weather, unfortunately, this forecast is not necessarily going to be for you, but we've really hung on to the warmer than normal temperatures for quite some time, and now it's time that we kind of pay the piper. But on Visible Cloud Track, finally, we're not socked in with the clouds. That is a welcome change, and that is a nice sight to see. On our Edgewater Skycam in downtown Madison, mostly to partly sunny skies right now, and forecast high right where we should be for this time of year. And I think that's a little bit comforting sometimes. And temperatures are staying pretty steady in the 20s. We're quiet on Doppler track for now, but that could change over the next few days. Still nothing immediately on our horizon as we zoom out a little bit, but our storm is going to come in from the west. Some flurries are possible tomorrow, and then Friday into Saturday, we could finally add to this snow depth map, which is pretty bare across much of southern Wisconsin, especially compared to north of us and south of us. There is a little bit of snow, and we are quite behind schedule once again in Madison in the snowfall department. Last year at this time, we were already close to a foot of snow. This winter, barely 9.5 inches of snow, so that's about 14 inches behind where we should be for this time of year, which is about 2 feet. So we're not talking about feet of snow over the next couple of days, but some accumulations are possible. Let me try and map that out here on future tracks. So the clouds do return later this afternoon into the evening, and temperatures will be in the low 30s for highs tomorrow. A few flurries are possible, but major accumulations or impacts not expected there. However, Friday night into Saturday, we can start to see that snow moving into southern Wisconsin from the west and southwest as well. And then that snow hanging on for Friday evening into early Saturday morning before that moves out. So here are the early looks, the differences in model output as far as snowfall is concerned. The Euro is the lowest of the group with about 1.5 inches of snow. GFS brings us about 6 inches of snow, and it really just depends on the track of this system. We're pretty certain on the timing that will be Friday night into Saturday morning, but the track and the accumulations because of said track, a little bit more uncertain. We are pretty certain about the cold weather coming after this system. Whatever it brings, we could be looking at very chilly temperatures as we start next week with lows in the single digits close to 0 and wind chills of -10 to -20 possible at times. So get ready for the cold to kind of settle in to southern Wisconsin. Your 7 to 10 day forecast shows that cold, especially by the time we get to Saturday and Sunday, and it looks like a snowier pattern could remain into much of next week. Mark, back to you.
What is January snow? What are you talking about? All right, Dave, thank you. There's more to come on News 3 at noon. It is a Twitter typo that people can't help but poke fun at. Join us as we learn the story behind hamburgers. That's next at noon. Well, remember President Trump's infamous confetti tweet? The word that nobody is really sure what it means may have met its match in Trump's new linguistic slip. As Jeannie Mose reports, the new word is hamburgers.
Feast your eyes on a fast food feast where you could wipe remnants of a Wendy's burger off your mouth with a White House napkin. Members of the Clemson Tigers were spotted balancing 7-somethings and sniffing at other things. And guess who picked up the tab?
Paid for by me.
Quarter pounders by candlelight. Naturally, the president got a makeover as the Hamburglar and Ronald McDonald. What would Lincoln think about White House gravy boats being used to hold McNugget sauces? But the golden nugget was the one President Trump dropped in a tweet, boasting of serving over 1,000 hamburgers. Hamburger is the new covfefe, read one tweet. Next thing you know, aides who work for the president are being referred to as hamburger helpers. Burger King jumped in. Due to a large order placed yesterday, we're all out of hamburgers, just serving hamburgers today. Someone else advised, be sure to wash down that delicious hamburger with a cold glass of milk. The Washington Post concluded that the president shelled out $2,400 to almost $3,000 on the spread, though it's hard to crunch the numbers when the president first estimates.
We have 300 hamburgers, many French fries.
But later the same evening, the burger count spiked.
1,000 hamburgers, Big Macs.
No word on the number of Domino's pizzas, but an ocean away, Catherine, Duchess of Cambridge, was asked by an 8-year-old, has the Queen ever had pizza?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe next time I see him, should I set up?
But who needs royalty in the land of the hamburger? This is the kingdom of Burger King. Jeannie Mo, CNN, New York.
All right. I'm hungry now.
Yeah, what a tangled web we see.
It is. Time for lunch. Get the weather out of the way.
Yeah, exactly. Well, at least we have some nice weather for any hamburgers that you have outside or maybe inside because temperatures are in the 20s. The sunshine will be with us. Clouds on the increase with some flurries by the time we get to tomorrow.
All right, that's our time for now. We'll see you back here at 4. Have a great afternoon.
Making plans that are weather dependent? Get an accurate 12-hour, even a 10-day forecast. Download the Channel 3000 First Alert Weather app and start planning.